So this video, I want to look at and touch upon conclusions, which should wrap up each aspect of our first paper that's due on Blackboard on Tuesday. And I'll also show you a little checklist I upload that can be of help. So everyone log into our Blackboard page and let's go to our Writing Resources tab. If you click on that, you'll see conclusions down here. Click on conclusions. So let's just follow along with the sheet and talk about conclusions. Introductions and conclusions can be difficult to write, but they're worth investing time in. They can have a significant influence on a reader's experience of your paper. Just as your introduction acts as a bridge that transports your readers from their own lives into the place of your analysis, your conclusion can provide a bridge to help your readers make the transition back to their daily lives. Such a conclusion will help them see why all your analysis and information should matter to them after they put their paper down. Your conclusion is your chance to have the last word on the subject. The conclusion allows you to have the final say on the issues you have raised in your paper, to synthesize your thoughts, to demonstrate the importance of your ideas, and to propel your reader to a new view of the subject. It is also your opportunity to make a good final impression and to end on a positive note. Your conclusion can go beyond the confines of the assignment. The conclusion pushes beyond the boundaries of the prompt and allows you to consider broader issues, make new connections, and elaborate on the significance of your findings. So, and we're going to talk a little bit about how to do that for your paper. Some strategies for the effective conclusion. Play the so what game. If you're stuck and you feel like your conclusion isn't saying anything new or interesting, ask a friend to read it with you. Whenever you make a statement from your conclusion, ask the friend to say so what or why should anybody care. Then ponder that question and answer it. So when your conclusion, think of your conclusion of having two parts. So the first part of your conclusion, you're not only mentioning, touching upon the areas you looked at in your paper. So for this paper specifically, you're looking at the past, the present, and the future for your education. You're tying those together and you're answering what makes all those together important. What does your past, present, and future thoughts, feelings, experience with education, what does that do? How does that make you who you are? So the first part of your conclusion, you will look at how those three things have worked together. And the second part is how those things shape who you are as a person today. So think about your conclusion as including, maybe 3 sentences, 3 to 4 sentences in the first part, kind of summarizing and synthesizing your paper, and then 2 to 3 sentences on the second part about how all those experiences, events, individuals, things make you who you are today. The so what, right? Why is it important? What does it mean? What does it all add up to? Return to the themes or themes of the introduction. I mentioned that. However, I want you to synthesize, don't just summarize. Include a brief summary of the paper's main points, but don't simply repeat things that were in the paper. Instead, show your reader how the points you made and support examples you used to fit together. Pull it all together. And again, I don't know if I've said this, but please, 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 like James Brown here, right? Don't begin your conclusion with "in conclusion." The reader, I know it's your conclusion because it's the final paragraph. That's redundant. I know a lot of people were taught that in high school. This isn't high school, right? So please, 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 never start your conclusion with "in conclusion." Jump right in and begin to synthesize and summarize what you touched upon, right? And the second part is the broader implications. How does all your experience make you who you are? So, here's strategies to avoid. Don't say "in conclusion," right? Don't introduce a bunch of new thoughts. And here are some examples of ineffective conclusions. And you could read those on your own. I'm not going to sit here and read all these ineffective conclusions. What I'm more concerned on is effective conclusions, right? Again, think of your conclusion as doing two things. Three things. First, you're never saying "in conclusion." Second, you're touching upon what you've talked about in your paper and synthesizing it. That is, you're tying it all together. That's the first part of your conclusion. And the last part is, what does it all add up to? Why is it so important? What does it all mean? So include a couple, 2, 3, 4 sentences at the end that showcases how all your experiences, all your specific interactions with education has made you who you are today. The thing is with conclusions as well is the more practice you get at them, the better you get at them. So, start with your conclusion like the rest of the paper, working on it and play around with it, right? Work on your draft, read it out loud, see how it sounds. So that's the video on conclusions. As always, email me with any questions, concerns, comments. Another thing I want to look at before I end the video, look under weekly sessions. So the paper's due Tuesday, week 4. We're already in week 4. If you click on week 4, on Tuesday, February 9th, I have these page numbers I want to look at. I'll be posting some videos on this stuff too. Click on checklist for paper 1. So click on that. So when you're working on your paper, which you already should, I'm hoping you've already have compiled a bunch of notes. You did free writing. I hope everyone did the free writing. You've made an outline. You've been thinking of ideas to talk about, to write about. So you have all those notes, and you should be drafting your paper. Before you turn your paper in, I would always recommend reading it out loud to yourself. What does it sound like? Do the words go together? Are there any grammatical mistakes? So read your paper out loud. Checklist for paper 1. Do you have an introduction that tells the reader what the paper will be about? Does your introduction jump right into your paper? Get rid of any general broad statements such as everyone's education is different. Get rid of you and your in your introduction as well. This is a paper's about you. So jump into an event, incident, encounter you had. Jump into starting to describe to the reader your experiences with education. Number 2, do you have a thesis statement that answers the question, how has my education shaped who I am today? Answer that question. That's your thesis statement. Remember, the reader should be able to read the thesis statement on its own and know exactly what the paper is about. One of my rules with thesis statements, and I mentioned this in the thesis video, is that anybody should read your thesis statement on its own and know exactly what the paper is about. Do you follow meal guidelines for body paragraphs? Look back at the meal handout. Remember that handout I just posted on Steel Man, the Green Muscle. Does each body paragraph have a main idea, topic sentence, M? E, is there evidence and or examples? E, right? Is there analysis? A, analysis of the examples, evidence, why they're important. L, are you linking it back to the thesis? Are you tying the paragraph together? Do you have a conclusion that synthesizes your paper, not simply summarizing but tying things together? That is, do you touch upon what you wrote about and talk about how it ties together? Does your paper follow MLA guidelines? There's the MLA video on the side of our toolbar. Please watch that for MLA guidelines, header, page number, last name. For all these questions, refer to the videos and handouts on our Blackboard page and or email me with any questions. Again, too, is your paper at least 2 to 3 full pages? Not a page and a half, 2 full pages, 2 to 3 full pages. So if you can answer yes to those questions, you have a successful paper so far. So, all right, everyone, I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a nice rest of your day.